Welcome to Let's See To It. I'm Chris the Real Darth Guy, and with me I have Justin Baggy Noodle Arms. Y'all know him very well, I'm sure. How you doing today, Justin?
I'm doing well. How are you, Darth?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. Right before the show, I was still kind of in that mental work zone, and I was a little bit less exciting than I typically am, and throw back some G Fuel and get to talking about this show, and I'm back live again, you know?
I've never actually had G Fuel, but I'm glad it worked for you.
Yeah, so it's weird because I kind of like it, but only kind of. The thing is, though, is that like my general Mountain Dew regiment has no effect on me whatsoever now. So I need one of those drinks that I can supplement if I need a little bit of an extra kick. It used to be...
I used to be a Mountain Dew junkie myself, so I feel you.
I have a case of it within arm's reach right down here, so I can just grab one whenever I need it, you know? I love it, but it stopped working because I drink it so often, which obviously that sounds terribly unhealthy, but...
Yeah, I think it is.
But I have the G Fuel to kind of power me up a little bit, I guess I would say. I used to use Reign and Monster a lot, but...
Reign?
Yeah, Reign.
Never heard of that one.
Actually, the Cooch 4 turned me on to the energy drink, and they have this one called Orange Dreamsicle. I'm sure you can imagine what it tastes like. It's delicious.
Oh, does that have a crown on it?
Yes. Yeah.
Like rain, like, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking rain, like, you know, like weather.
Oh, no. It's the, I think it's even the R is inside the crown on the logo, I believe. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that.
The Cooch 4 turned me on to that one. It's a little less carbonated than Monster, and also it has a bigger variety of flavors, but, you know, whatever. We are not sponsored by Reign, by the way. Just to let you know.
Or G Fuel.
Or G Fuel, no.
Or anybody.
Right.
If any of you want to sponsor us, feel free. But as of right now, we are just me and Chris here.
We are sponsored by The Wallet, is what they say, right?
By the way, welcome Petite, welcome Daxon. Daxon seems to agree with you that I think Rain, he's saying, is very good.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think I like it better than Monster, to be honest with you. But for the price, I like to get the G Fuel tubs on their BOGO sales, and then I have energy drink for a while. But and then
Right.
Reveal actually says that's what he drinks. Welcome, Reveal. So how's this week been for you, man? How are you dealing with this just craziness, you know, and being basically stay at home all the time?
The week's been not too bad. We started going on, luckily I live in like a quiet neighborhood, so we started doing like mile and a half walks either on lunch or right after work.
Okay.
Kind of, you know, get some fresh air. It's felt nice. Open the window if it's nice out a little bit. So you feel a little more like you're part of
Kind of
the outside, not just the room.
at least part of the world, not necessarily part of society, but part of the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that helps. You?
I haven't been outside very much. The weather's been kind of rainy around here, but we were lucky enough to get a basketball hoop right before all this stuff happened. So the kids play basketball right outside the office, and I'll hop out there once in a while. And then our backyard's decent. It's a little marshy, but you know, we can go back there and throw a frisbee or something like that. So that's really all I've been doing. It is starting to wear on me a little bit, where I sit in this chair when I'm working, and then I get up, change into some comfy clothes, and then come back and I sit back in this chair to stream or game or whatever I'm doing that evening. And then, you know, you go to bed and then you return back to this chair again to work again, and you
don't just sleep in the chair?
I could totally. I have actually fell asleep in this chair one time. I was watching Netflix or something like late night, and then I woke up at like 4 a.m. I was like, oh, yep, that's going to be a bad day tomorrow. All uncomfortable and stuff.
Hasn't happened to me yet, luckily.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
That's too funny.
It has happened. I don't recommend it, even though, yes, it is one of the more comfortable, like you can lean back in your chair, I'm assuming as well. It's not as bad as like, you know, curling up on like a single, what are those, love seat? No, the love seats are two people.
Recliner?
Not even a recliner, just the chair that should recline and it feels like it should, but it doesn't, and you're like, this is kind of not comfortable. Falling asleep.
I don't know what the name for that is.
Yeah, I don't even.
Single cushion couch.
I don't. non-reclining. I don't know. Anyway,
Somebody help us.
right. So, along with the show announcement, you actually put in the C2 community that we are going to be doing our C2's first tournament, but obviously not Twitch Crew's first tournament. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, so even back when we were Twitch Crew, we had some people ask for Call of Duty. We never really got around to it, and we didn't know how. Now we've kind of had some people resurface and kind of mention wanting to do a Call of Duty. The idea is to have a 2v2 kind of like gunfight. I haven't dug too deeply to see if you could do custom matches. I know a friend of mine has done some tourneys that they did the 2v2s, so I think it's possible.
Right.
But haven't tried it, but hoping to do some 2v2s if nothing else, and then just see who, the best Call of Duty player is in the community.
Ooh, get the best Call of Duty in the community crown. Give them a role. Special color and everything, right?
I guess duo, right? But still.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Unless you, at the end, you throw that twist, you're like, now you have to fight each other. Bam.
Ooh, winning team has to 1v1 at the end. There you go.
Yeah, one champion, only one, or there can be only one, or whatever the saying is from, I forget what show that is. But that'll be cool.
I have no idea.
I've actually been wanting a Call of Duty tournament for a while as well. Not because I think I'm going to win, but just because I love Call of Duty. And it's kind of, this new game has really brought me back in, with the Battle Royale. And then also, I'm just enjoying the multiplayer in general. It's better because we're not going and flying all around the map and, wall running across the whole entire side of the map and stuff like that. So I enjoy this one.
Yeah, I'll compete in it and definitely probably not win, although I'm definitely gonna win.
You're gonna fix it so you win. You're like, oh, he's disqualified.
No, it's just me trying to be confident, I'm gonna win. Well, I'm definitely not gonna, but
you'll have to jump in to the Squad Up channel, which we created for this situation, and join Cooch and I, and Don plays, Reveal sometimes plays. We got a bunch of people that play Call of Duty right now to grease up your skills. I know Luke plays it all the time, right? Well, I don't know so much anymore because of Valorant. Is it Valorant or Valorant? Like, where's the...
I've called it Valorant. I don't know the correct saying there. You only read it until you, I guess, watch an ad or something.
Yeah. So I've just been saying Valorant. I don't even know.
See, that's harder for me to say. So Valorant it's quick.
Okay.
It's like almost one syllable.
Right, just flow right through. You put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Isn't that the joke saying?
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
The one.
Have you played it?
I have. What day was that? I don't know my days anymore. Tuesday yesterday?
Yeah, right. I just looked at my watch because you said what day is it, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah. Yesterday, I hung out on Twitch watching channels. I watched Tim the Tatman all last time they were doing the drops. This time I did it again. I tried the theory of watching I don't want to say smaller streamer, much larger than myself, like 500 viewers instead of
not watching Summit as his 225,000 viewers. Like, what?
I saw him at 311K last night. But so I watched Action Jackson when I ended up getting my code. He had like 500 to 600 people, and I got one. So I don't know if that was why, but it worked out.
So I watched 5 streams all day on the 3rd. No code. I watched 5 streams all day on the 7th. No code until later in the day. I was setting up to get my show going, and I switched to just one single stream by itself. And then I got a code within like 10 minutes. I'm like,
Weird.
Is it like, does it know you're watching multiple? And it's like, nope, you don't get a code, and then like just gives it to you when you switch or something?
I think Luke was watching multiple when he got it, so it's just luck of the draw, obviously.
I did see his tweet where he took a picture, and you can see like 13 different versions of Twitch sitting up on there. You're just like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I didn't quite have that set up, but I just had them all tiled on like my second monitor over there. Just, I don't even know why, because you can just put them in separate tabs on top of each other, but I chose to do it.
That's what I did.
The very weird way. But
yeah, I probably played, I don't know, 5 hours last night.
Okay.
I would say.
Give us your review. I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, okay. So I've never played CSGO. I would say that's probably the closest game, to it.
Most people
probably CSGO.
Most people are saying it's CSGO and Overwatch just like thrown together, and then
the Overwatch is only the abilities, the actual gameplay, like shooting, all that is very not Overwatch. I mean, Overwatch, you can shoot at a tank player for, I don't know, 5 minutes and they're still alive, right? Like they keep healing, Mercy's standing behind them healing them, like you're never killing that thing. Where this, it doesn't matter which character you play, you will die in like, I don't know, half a second if somebody's just shooting you in the head.
Better time to see. That's more up my alley for time to kill for sure.
Yeah, it's quick TTKs. I mean, the operator sniper will one shot you in the toe.
Oh, okay.
So, that's the shortest fight you'll get in. I had fun, surprisingly so, because like I said, I've never played CS:GO. I never thought I'd like CS:GO. I don't know if the abilities helped. The graphics were very clean, which I liked. It wasn't like extra junk.
So just for context, I've only played through one match and then of course the tutorial that they drop you in right away.
Yep.
So I haven't played enough to really formulate a solid opinion, just initial reaction type opinions. And the graphics are clean. Typically speaking, I'm more of a realistic shooter type graphic guy. I really can't even tell you why. But, I mean, the graphics are great, and it runs buttery smooth. It really does. So,
yeah.
I mean...
It's got kind of like Sea of Thieves or Fortnite or, like, Borderlands kind of, like, style a little bit.
I always call...
cartoony, but, like, realistic.
Yeah, it's weird. I always say, like, candied real when I refer to this graphic style, because it's like, it's real feeling, but everything's candied in a way.
Right.
Kind of like that has that little extra sheen on it and probably reducing down the actual textures and stuff, and so you'll have just a solid piece of brown instead of where it looks like it's an actual piece of wood, stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of how I think they did it.
I mean, it makes the graphics like it runs so smooth. I think Luke was saying he was getting like 200 to 300 frames per second.
Yeah.
I had mine off, so I don't know, but I noticed no hiccups. My ping was like 30 or less all night.
They did say that they were focusing specifically on server tick rates and ping and keeping it as low as possible so that you don't have, you've played Call of Duty where you're like, how did that guy one-shot me? And then on his kill cam, you're like, oh, he hit me 7 times.
19 times.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, that's not what I felt, but whatever.
So that felt really nice. Like, you never felt like you lost because of lag. You never felt like you lost because, like you said, they just saw you first on their screen but not on your screen, and it just felt like everything was fair. Like,
that's really good for a beta,
nice.
Especially at this stage that it just released. Limited release on the 3rd, a bit more on the 7th, and then they're obviously doing more today as well.
Yeah.
And that's really good for a beta to get that type of, it felt really good. Frame rates were good. The servers were good. Like it, because typically it only gets better.
I've heard a few people like in the chat, the randos we played with, say that like they were having issues. I don't know if they just had poor internet to begin with, though.
Sure.
You can only fix dial-up so easily.
Right.
But I had no issues besides towards the end. Like, we couldn't add each other anymore or like join up with groups. You kind of had to go in solo.
There were a couple of announcements on Twitter where they were experiencing glitches like that. And there's another thing, is that I wasn't even playing, but since I followed them on Twitter, I knew what was going on. So it's not like, you get into some of those betas and there's just no communication whatsoever. You're like, are they down? Or should we even try to stay in queues? Like, is everything busted right now and we should go play something else?
I've sat in queues for like 3 hours before, so I totally get that.
Yeah, it's in Escape from Tarkov, when I first jumped in there, the servers got pretty bad when they did Twitch drops, and there were times where we wouldn't play for an hour and a half because we're just jumping into queues and going, well, hopefully we get to play. And that kind of sucks. And so you played for...
Yeah, it's nice when they're open about it.
You played for 5 hours, you said?
Yeah,
and
I'd say about that.
Was it game after game after game just rolling through?
I mean, I took my own breaks, but never because of the game itself.
That's nice.
Yeah, I just kept going. Like I said, towards the middle, I had to break up our party because we couldn't see each other ready up or anything anymore. So like, the game didn't know what was going on. So we had to break off, and I played probably like 4 games by myself after that.
Okay.
My only real complaint so far, and it's never going to change, I don't think, is just it's a long game. It's whoever wins 13 rounds first.
13? What? 13 rounds?
So, Right, so it can go, what, 25 rounds before you have a win.
Wait. So you're like you can't jump into that game if you're like, oh, I got a half hour before we're leaving. I'm gonna play some Valorant. Anyway, I'm gonna play some Valorant, and you just can't do that. You're gonna be like, well, I need an hour.
It's what, 2 minutes minimum? 2 minutes about the longest a round.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah, Dexon
so
says
25 times 2, 50 minutes.
Holy crap!
Is the longest it could go.
Okay, but and then the shortest obviously depends on the teams, but
I mean, shortest would be 13 rounds. You know, let's say a minute apiece. So 13, 15 minutes would probably be like one team kicked the other team's butt.
yeah, you just mop the floor, and the other team probably already quit out and gave up on you, because that's how gaming is nowadays, where people just rage quit out on you if they're not winning.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway.
For sure. But yeah, so I would say average, 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
So it's a long round. Riot's not, that's a typical Riot thing. League of Legends games, I feel like, are like hour and a half.
I have a buddy who plays a lot of League, and he would agree with that. He's told me that he has 4,500 hours or something in League, and like he's not even anywhere close to being like one of the top players. And he just says, it's just because, I mean, the games are long. Like, you're never going to jump into a game and play for 2 minutes. It's just not going to happen.
No, you can't.
So
obviously that's a bummer. They do have a really nice training ground, though. Like, if you wanted to spend 2 minutes, you can try every gun, they're all charged all the time.
That's nice.
The little targets, you can set how far from you they are. You can actually, like, scroll a wheel and it'll go 200 meters.
Oh.
And then you shoot, and it shows you how much damage you're doing per bullet on the target.
Cool.
So you know, like, oh, at 200 meters, this gun's useless. At 100 meters, this is perfect.
I like that a lot. I did a lot of that in the firing range in Division to, customize my weapons like and get everything dialed in so that, I could kill those big, heavy armored guys and stuff like that. Because that game, I did say I like shorter time to kill, and that's completely the opposite. But it's nice to be able to understand your weapons to a bigger degree than, well, this one shoots straight, so I'll use that.
You're right.
One thing that kind of weirds me out is like how accurate you are hip fire. I feel like it's crazy. You don't even have to aim down sights on really any of the guns. You can just hip fire from as far as you want, and it's perfectly accurate.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of people who are good at the game almost never almost never ADS. I ADS still almost every time. It's just because I'm so used to that type of game. Well, so I would take corners like scoped in kind of.
Your muscle memory also, because like you play Destiny a lot, and your muscle memory is, I want to fire, I'm going to kind of do a right left.
Right.
It just happens. Like even when I do hip fire, I'll start hip fire and then I'll switch to like I'll transition into ADS, when I'm just trying to kill someone quickly. Just natural.
For sure.
I don't know. I think it'll be a good game. The match time kind of throws me for a loop there, because that's a really long match time. Because sometimes I do like to jump into a couple matches of Call of Duty multiplayer and spend 10 minutes in Call of Duty and be like, okay, I'm done, whatever, walk away, But
right.
You can go to the training ground, I guess. Now, can you put AI players in the training ground that'll fight you?
I don't think so. I didn't dig too far in.
Okay. Well, maybe in the future or something. It is a beta, so even having something like that in a beta, not just like dropping you right into a game, not even be able to team up with people. Because I've been part of betas where literally it goes from loading screen into a game, no team system. You're just playing the game, testing the game, and that's it.
Right.
So
you have like 30 minutes and you're kicked out or whatever,
Yeah, so that's a pretty detailed beta. I know, I think Dr. Disrespect did a 24-hour stream on it. And when I popped in there, because I do enjoy his content here and there, when I popped in there, he was ranting and raving about how he doesn't like the game, interestingly. And then later...
It's very slow.
Yeah, it does.
He likes like fast, he's like a Call of Duty.
Yeah.
PUBG was a little slow too, but not as slow as this. And PUBG is like where he's known from, I feel.
Well, CSGO is a lot of hold the angles, move as a team, move slowly through the battleground. Like, it's completely team-based. It's not one person can run around, mop the other team, and win the match for you, right? Isn't that how...
I mean, good matches of this, you shouldn't be able to do that, because people would hold different angles. The weirdest thing for me to get used to, for all you FPS players that don't play CSGO, there's no sprinting. You either walk or you slow walk. So shift is slow walk. So you do that to minimize noise. The whole game is like trying to minimize noise and minimize knowing, like, people knowing where you are, yet you kind of know where they're gonna come from. So you're like playing that, like, you know, cat and mouse game. You're like trying to know where they are. They're trying to figure out where you are, and because half the time it's whoever sees the person first gets the kill.
Right. I hear the audio
Like I said,
design
you can
is
shoot someone
great.
in the toe.
Would you say it's good?
I'm not a big audio guy. Like, I've never been like, oh man, I can tell where everybody is all the time. But it was pretty good. Like, I could hear where people were walking from at all times.
Okay.
Granted, if you have a not as skilled teammate, if they walk, like, not slow walk, if they regular walk around, you kind of, I found myself like spinning a lot, like 180, thinking someone's behind me, and it's just my teammate.
Your teammate
like,
not being careful.
Down.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean,
the abilities were pretty cool. I played like the healer a lot, so I was healing me, my teammates. Res was a super or ult or whatever it was called in that game.
So I'm assuming it has the typical healer, you know, recon type class, the attacker type class, maybe the wall, stuff like that. Is there?
Yeah, so I think they had, like, you know, an archer that could shoot an arrow that kind of like would ping if anyone was near that arrow. Very Genji for all you Overwatch people. Its ult was even it shoots an arrow that goes through all the walls.
They have you do that one in the tutorial. The
yes.
That shoot through the walls. It's the end of the tutorial or whatever.
Oh, yep, yeah, for sure, right. Then, like I said, I played the one that could. The ult was you instantly res a teammate. There was one that if you use your ult on a enemy dead body, it'll show you where everybody else is on the map for like 1 second. You know, there's a guy you could throw. That guy can throw like cameras around and use the camera to like look instead of peeking out themselves.
Okay.
There was drones. There was all sorts of like different gadgets.
So, do you think there's enough gadgets that are unique to the game, or is it a lot of things that you're just like, oh, that's from Overwatch, oh, that's from Paladins, oh, that's from Rainbow Six?
I mean, without crapping on the game, it took a lot of elements from other games, but it made it its own. Like, I didn't feel like I was playing Mercy, even though I had the res. You know, like, I didn't feel like Mercy.
Okay.
I was my gun was just as strong as your gun.
Right.
I didn't have a lot of strong abilities that kill, but I had like a wall that I could block.
Okay.
And I had like, you know, so I had different utility. So it felt like its own game.
Nice.
I'll say that.
And then I like what you said where you were rezzing people, but you had your own gun that was just as effective as everyone else. Because that's really annoying when you're like, oh, I'm this healer that is useless in a fight. Like,
right. Yeah, everybody else died and I'm alone. I mean, Mercy's gun's strong, but you're not killing the whole team unless the other team's real bad.
Right. Well, I mean, I'll play it a lot more. Last night I had a little bit of a server problem where I had to update it, and it was taking forever to update, so I just switched out to Call of Duty. But I did get to play at lunch today, and I'm still interested in the game, so it at least didn't...
Free to play.
Yeah, it's free to play. Well, right now, if you get one of the drops, which I'm pretty sure that, based on how it sounds, or at least from what Valorant, their Twitter is saying, is that you can watch anyone that's playing the game. You don't have to watch, like, Dr. Disrespect or Tim the Tatman or anything.
I think that's false. So if you actually click somebody on Twitch, below the category, you'll see it says drops enabled. It'll say it in green, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I tried to watch like a partner that I not know, but like he's from the Destiny community.
Okay.
But he's smaller, you know, like 100 viewers or so, and he did not have that there. So I did not watch him, unfortunately. I would have loved to.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I think only people like 1,000+ viewers, or you know what I mean, like the hierarchy of Twitch got the drops enabled.
The way that it read, I was like, so is it enabled for anyone? It was kind of confusing because it just said watch Valorant, and then it's linked you to the category, and then it didn't say like watch these specific people or anything. So it was a little cryptic on the way that you get drops. Of course, I just watched kind of the people that I knew were, you know, Dr. Disrespect, Tim the Tap. You know, these people are going to have drops enabled. They always do.
Trout.
Yeah, they're the people.
I guess he's on Mixer. I guess he wouldn't have.
Oh, that's true.
Whoops.
Oh no.
Speaking of drops, Darth, I actually know for a fact that you were not impressed by drops.
No.
Let's hear your thoughts on the Twitch drops.
So I hate the Twitch drop system. how I want to be part of a beta is the typical sign up with your email and then we'll send you an email invite and you type in the code and you're like, yes, I got it, right? Because part of it is also that I'll put my email in there and then forget about it and then get a beta invite and I'm like, oh, sweet, okay, cool. But this drop situation drives me nuts because like I feel like I have to watch it from the beginning all the way to the end and then I'm still like, who knows, maybe did I waste my entire day watching this person instead of like something I wanted to watch? And it
Right.
Another thing that drives me nuts is that Devin Nash posted on Twitter and he linked to it just a screenshot of the list of people that are watching these drops enabled streams. And it's like auto-generated accounts by the hundreds and thousands of just a bunch of Valorant free key, Valorant beta key, just a bunch of random usernames that are obviously generated by a computer to take these drops from the people that are actually there, like the real people that are there. Because I guarantee a bunch of these bots got them. And then you see on Twitter these companies that are like, oh, we're going to give 5 Valorant beta accounts to people. All you have to do is retweet, follow, and watch this specific streamer. And you're like, what kind of business model is that? And how you're taking it away from the people that should be getting these beta keys. I agree. I hate that system. I miss the old sign up with your email and you'll be randomly chosen.
I assume, though, there's probably 2 reasons they did it, right? One, it hypes up the game.
It does.
Everybody's watching on Twitch, so we're all talking about it. I mean, like you just said, Summit has 250,000 people right now watching him play the same game.
I think at some point I checked. I don't even know what the category was today. I didn't check. But I think it was at like 1.3 million viewers or something like that yesterday. And that's crazy. That's insane.
That's big, yeah. So it hypes up the game, and then the second part there's, I'm sure the email version was the same way. I'm sure someone made 5,000 emails.
True.
Emailed them all, and if Square Enix or whoever the company is doing it just picks, 5,000 out of a hat, and half of them are bot emails, what's the difference?
Yeah, at least I don't see them sitting in there taking the drops from me. I'm like, that fake account probably got one and I didn't get one. And I kind of wish
I get that.
There was I kind of wish we knew how it worked. So do we have to watch for a certain amount of time? If we watch 13 streams, does that increase our chances of getting a beta key by 13?
They wrote in their FAQ, no. They do actually have an FAQ that said didn't matter how many streams you watch.
I did not see that, so that's good.
I saw somebody post it. I didn't click their FAQ, but I saw someone post that answer somewhere. I don't remember where I was, but I still don't know the answer as if I watch Summit or if I watch, 500 viewer person.
Yeah.
That made a difference.
Do they?
But I guess if they told everyone that would almost be bad too, because now Summit, who should kind of be getting the views, because this is his game. He was a CS:GO pro athlete, is a very big content creator, and this is his time to shine right now, because this is a game that fits right in his wheelhouse. Instead of being one of the Fortnite guys, he wasn't. So instead of everybody would have went to the 500 viewers, and then they just would have been inflated anyway.
That's
true.
It
would have been this big mess of everyone fighting to find the guy with the least views.
Although that would be good for that guy, I guess. But Daxon says that fact was on the Valorant website. So if anyone's curious and wants to go find that, you can find that apparently you don't have to sit in 6 streams, 13 streams, however many streams. You can sit in 1 and you have the same chance. So that's better. I guess. I still feel weird about Twitch drops, though. I still feel like it's...
Well, you're forced to, like you said, you're forced to watch something you maybe... I closed... I'm going to not lie. I closed out of the stream I was watching the second I got the key. I got the key and I was like, bloop.
Yep.
But
so it's artificial.
I don't mind
inflation.
It was the first time I did a random Twitch drop. I've been in Twitch drops that said, if you watch for 2 hours, you're guaranteed this.
Okay.
Overwatch has done that for skins and sprays. Sea of Thieves has done it for in-game items where you watch for X amount of hours and you're guaranteed the drop.
Okay, I like that. Although I guess in this context, well, no, I mean it could work. They're like, okay, if you watch for 2 hours, we're going to randomly drop 75,000 people these keys, or they can do it in multiple. So they can be like, if you watch for 2 hours, we're going to drop 15,000 keys. If you watch for 2 hours again, we're gonna drop X amount of keys, whatever. I guess it could work, but it would be difficult. It almost seems like it's a way to fake inflate numbers, because let's be honest, did you watch the stream or did you have the stream up?
I mean, I was watching Tim for real. Well, I had the smaller quote unquote
Sure.
there, streamers up just in case that actually helped my odds.
Yeah.
So I truly was watching gameplay.
Okay. See,
I was probably inflating other streamers' numbers, but
yeah, I literally had it up and I was doing work all day, and it was just over on my other screen and didn't pay attention to a minute of it, except for maybe a couple times I'll look over and see what's going on, but not.
you inflated the stream, but you didn't inflate the hype, right?
That's true.
You still wanted to be part of that game, so your number was there. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But you're right. The second I saw that little notification, I was like, see ya. Got it. Took a snapshot of it, post it in Discord, and be like, yeah, there we go. Let's roll. And then I couldn't play that night.
But yeah, we'll have to play together and give them your true review.
Yep.
And then maybe get some other people's reviews as we're getting more gameplay in there. Because I think it's going to be a big game whether we like it or not. It's like I said, CSGO was big when it came.
Yeah.
Riot's very good at making these games that go big for tournaments. League of Legends has been one of the top 10 games, 5 games for the past, I don't know how many years, 8 years. It's been a long time. I don't know, 6 years.
I mean,
they know what they're doing.
I mean, let's be honest. If the servers continue to run this well, then I think it's going to have a great future, because sometimes people they abandon a game because they're like, this game is running crappy, and then they never come back. They go to something else that runs better or something else that grabs their attention, because we live in this world as gamers where one day of changing to something else can completely change the future of you gaming. So like Destiny would be a bad example for you, but let's say you one day decided that you didn't want to play Destiny anymore and we'll even use Valorant, and you played Valorant and you actually ended up loving it, and then you abandon your main game completely. Bad example for you in Destiny, I know.
I've thought about it. But like, it's in a bad place right now.
You completely just abandon it and move to something else. Like I can use Division for me. I love the world of Division. But then once I got into the end game of Division 2, I was like, and I switched to something else.
We hit on that.
And I've never gone back.
Same.
It can happen.
Not that it matters for our audio listeners, but it does look like our chat overlay is not working.
Let me give that a quick refresh, and then hopefully that will do it. Of course, it'll only start messages after this point, so someone message the chat. F in chat if you have Valorant beta, and then we know who we can squad up with. But yeah, I'll get into it a lot more than this. No, it's not seemed to be working. Okay, well, we'll fix that another time. But I'm excited to get in there. It'll definitely be cool to be part of a squad, because playing with friends is more fun than playing alone, right?
I agree. I still play Fortnite almost every day, and it's not because it's my favorite game, but I have a friend who typically plays free games or games that run on less powerful machines.
Yep.
Fortnite's perfect. We can play for 20 minutes, bang out a game, especially if we lose, and we go on with our day, So it's like, I still play a game that's not my favorite. I don't hate the game, but I play it more because a friend wants to play.
Yeah.
And same with anything. I'll play Valorant. If we all love Valorant, I'll probably play it.
Oh no. All of a sudden we pull you out of Destiny and you're like, oh, I'm going to play Valorant now because everyone's playing it with me.
I'm a Valorant main, guys.
You're a pro now? You got to tweet it out like everyone was saying. I'm a Valorant pro now. I'm going pro. Whatever.
I mean, I think I am going to go pro. I thought about it for a minute.
Yeah, and you got in there, clicked around a couple times, and you're like, it's happening, right?
I got like a double kill once, so if any org wants to sign me,
there you go.
So 500K a year, no problem.
Cooch kind of heard me say friends in a different way, and the reason I said friends in a different way, and I said friends like friends, quote, because we're all streamers. Well, a lot of us are streamers, right? So when
content creators of some sort,
creators, streamers, I guess we don't have to necessarily stream, but gamers. When you play, do you prefer to play with friends? Do you prefer to play with someone who's going to make your content better, or are you just like, I'm going to just play alone because then I have basically control over what's going on in my content? I wanted to say stream again.
Well, that answer probably changes. Obviously, are you live? Are you not live?
Yeah, let's say, just for an example and for argument's sake, let's say you are live. What would you pick out of that those three options?
I'm pretty easygoing, so as long as I know the person's not putting stuff onto my content that I'm not proud of, using racial slurs or anything like that I would forbid on my channel, or I really don't even want to hear in general. But that type of stuff, if I'm live, I'm even more gonna, avoid.
Okay.
I don't play with anybody I can think of that even does that, but just, let's say for the sake of it, like I've LFG'd on channels to play with randoms, and I'm always hesitant to do that, like when I'm live, because you never know who you're gonna get.
It could also be, so like, let's say you bring in one of your friends and they're like, hey, can my buddy play? And you're like, sure. Hesitantly, but perfectly fine. Like, obviously, if you weren't streaming, you would be like, yeah, I don't care, whatever, bring him in. But you always have to have that little bit of thought in your head, The Cooch4 says he prefers to play with friends, and it does not change for him. And then Daxon says both. He has one friend that he has set, so chat can't hear him at all. Like, can you imagine? Okay, so if you and I were
he's talking to himself.
You and I were playing. And let's say me, you, and Luke were playing, and then all of a sudden I go watch the VOD because I'm like, oh, there was a really good clip that I wanted to pull out, and I'm like, dude, you have me muted on your stream.
I'd be like, yeah, dude, you're a dink.
Oh man,
that is funny. I play with the same people almost no matter what. There are moments where I've been like, my content is probably better playing with certain people. But at the same time, if I'm comfortable with a friend, like in some ways that's good too, because like you get to feel, like your real self.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to like put on like a fake, or like feel awkward that they might say something that you're uncomfortable with, or like, you know what I mean? You know how they are. You know that person. You know how they're gonna act on stream. You know how they're gonna talk. It's much. Drunk's the only thing that's iffy for me. Someone starts getting drunk, I'm always like, I don't know, because I don't know how you are gonna. Well,
because change, people do change when they are drinking alcohol. It's kind of a natural thing. I had a question in my mind about, do you feel that you yourself, if you're gaming with friends, because you naturally get into that mode where you may talk less to your chat. I notice that for me when I'm playing with like people that I play with a lot, or people that I really enjoy gaming with, I will like go into complete gamer mode and just completely ignore what's going on with the content. And that's something I struggle with when I'm playing with people.
Yeah.
So I prefer to play with people, though, because I feel like the banter between us makes for good content. The only thing that you do is that you lose the interaction with chat. So is it better content that you're showing people, even though you're not interacting, or is it that the viewer is like, this kind of sucks because he's not paying attention to us? It's
my honest answer is the best for growth, in my opinion. I haven't made it, I have nothing to prove these statistics, but I think you can grow better alone, because I think, like you said, your full attention almost, besides a little bit of gameplay, is on the chat. Your chat gets to talk to you. They don't have to feel like whoever you're talking to has your attention. It's a different environment. You can be more engaging. You never have to like, wait a minute. I know for myself, like you said, I typically still answer every message in my chat, but like I'm one of those people who wants to win every game I play.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm not the best at any game, but I want to win. And so with that being said, like we're in a heated moment. I'm doing call outs, I'm yelling about things, like I'm invested in the game, and then chat kind of loses me.
Yep.
Not that I don't care that they're there. Not if they say hi, I'm gonna answer the second my vision sees their hello message. But I'm very invested in what I'm doing, which is the game. So you do lose kind of that.
I agree with you. It's weird though, because since I experience it from the streamer side, I'm a little more understanding on the viewer side. So when I'm in there,
agreed,
and I'll hold on to my message if I'm like, oh well, it's a really like heated battle right now. I'm not gonna throw my message out there to get buried by someone else while they're not gonna be paying attention to it, So I think about that a little bit, but I agree. Content by yourself is better because you can talk through your thought process. People can understand why you're making decisions that you're making. Whereas when you're playing with other people, you're, like you said, you're doing call outs, you're doing all this other stuff that gets your team to know what you're thinking rather than explaining why'd you go around that corner so slow? What are you doing? You know, it's a completely different world. But if I had to pick, now if you had to pick, you could only stream by yourself, you could only stream with friends, which one would you pick?
I'd pick with friends because me personally, I'm not ultra comfortable sitting there by myself, especially when chat doesn't show up.
Oh, yeah.
If chat's not there and I have to like fake it that I'm talking to anybody, my skin's like crawling because I know I'm not talking to anybody. I feel like that fake syndrome, you know, like like I'm not talking to anybody and I know it.
Like someone's gonna walk in here and think I'm nuts.
Yeah, where like if I have a friend, I still want chat, but like if chat's not there, I have a friend to talk to. Yeah. I can just go on my merry way, play my game, feel comfortable, and hopefully people still want to pop in and say hi even though I have a friend with me. But that would be my choice, even though, like I said, I think if I really wanted to grow as a content creator, my best move would be to at least half my streams be like independent so that they could have like me time, just me with them. Get to know me.
It's almost like if they pop in,
me and my friends.
If they pop in and they see that you're with friends, they're like, okay, it's going to be a watch him and enjoy that content day. And if they pop in and they see you without friends, they're like, oh, now I'm going to interact with him on a different level just because of the type of stream it's going to be that day. So I think you're right where you could be like, oh, Tuesdays are my gaming with friends, Thursdays are my gaming alone, and people could have that little bit of expectation as to what day they want to tune in. Because I mean, let's be honest, even as streamers, we're fans of a lot of different people. We can't stop into one person's stream every single time they stream. It's just not possible, you know? So
I also think solo, like, you can play different games, because obviously not every game is multiplayer. And a lot of the single player games have a much more fascinating, not always, but, you know, they have a much more, like, involved story where, like, you know, like, Last of Us, I almost cried playing that game.
That game
like,
is
there's never
so
been
good.
I've never, and Destiny has some of those moments, but I've never cried on Destiny. I mean, spoiler alert, for like 2 years ago, Cade dies.
Right.
That was one of the more sad moments of Destiny. But other than that, you know, it's like most of the time it's just playing with friends in the Crucible or something. And that's not, there's no story-driven moment there where if I'm playing a horror game, you get to watch me jump out of my seat. If I'm playing
I can't do horror games.
an emotional game, you know, I don't play horror games for that reason, but there's a lot more you have with emotionally, I feel like, with a story.
Single player story-based experiences, the viewers are sharing that experience with you, and you're sharing your experience with them, whereas multiplayer, they're just watching football on TV instead of watching a drama. Almost, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like watching a sport versus watching an actual story.
And if they're not good at if the team's not good at the sport, nobody talks about them.
Exactly. It's a great comparison. See what I'm saying?
I watched this guy bagging noodle arms. He got like one kill all night. Like, I usually get more than one kill chatter. Right?
Well, let's actually talk about that. So, a bunch of us are streamers. If you're bad at a game, how do you fix your content? Even if let's say you love this game, but you're not top tier, you're lower tier at it. How do you build something where it's actually amusing to watch? Because everyone wants to see those moments where you're just owning another team and you're the best player they've seen today. But not many people just want to go watch you play a BR and basically watch other players play because you're dead all the time, right?
Yeah. I think with that, you definitely have to bring out personality. Like, you have to make the moments funny. You have to, or be really engaging with chat, even though you're playing a multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to be like, how's your day? And really get into their life because you care. Like, you know, you want to get to know your viewers, and then you get to share that moment. It's like joining a call and just talking to your friend instead of streaming almost. Or like I said, you could take the funny route and like make jokes out of everything.
Have a nice meme set up on your stream
deck. Talk about how
deck.
bad you are. I don't know. Yeah, have some memes, have some, I don't know, sound alerts that are hilarious. Who knows? But come up with something that doesn't take the moment so seriously, because you can't take yourself seriously and lose and want everybody to watch you. Like,
yeah, that's true. People will deal with someone who rages that is really, really good at the game. I mean, Dr. Disrespect kind of built his whole community based on that fact right there. When he's losing, he's freaking out, but when he's doing well, he's killing it, and he's really good at the games, you know? So, I don't know. I mean, me personally, I have this weird, like, lukewarm. Some days I'm great, and I feel like I'm just whooping everyone in the lobby, and then other days I'm like, wow, I may as well not even be playing this game. This is terrible.
I should just uninstall.
Right. I better move
welcome
on to
that guy
something.
Core, by the way. And he says, I don't go to any channel for gameplay.
Really? That's interesting.
I think I've heard that from a lot of streamers. I don't know a lot of just viewers personally, so I don't know their take on that. I know my fiance says the same thing. Like she doesn't care what you're playing, and I do understand that because, like, you know, my friends, I will watch play 99% of games.
Okay.
There's like that one or two game that I just hate so much that I'm not watching, even if I can talk to my friend. But I do think there are times I've watched for gameplay. I've definitely watched games that I'm interested in being good at for gameplay, because if you watch somebody who's good at it, you understand how to be good at it. Doesn't mean you can do it, but you at least know what you're doing differently than them potentially.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's a cheeky angle in that building. That's nice to know, or just anything that they know that you don't know. Even
right.
I don't know, just driving around in Call of Duty drives me nuts right now. But I've watched so many streamers just win games by driving the darn cars around the map. I'm like, well, I guess I better start driving now. That sucks. In a shooter game, I better start driving. Like, what is going on here? So, I mean, I personally, if I go to a game-based stream, I'm definitely going there for the game. But I do pop into just chatting channels, and then obviously there's no gameplay there at all. But I don't know. I guess I kind of separate the two, where I'm like, I want to watch Call of Duty right now. I want to watch Valorant right now, you know.
But you still probably pick a person in that category that you enjoy as a personality, right? Like, you don't pick just the best player?
No, I definitely pick personalities that I mix with. Like I said, I talk about Dr. Disrespect because I actually do enjoy when he's making good content. I think his channel's very good. But when he's screaming at his microphone, spitting all over his computer stuff, I'm like, next, I'm going to go somewhere else. You know, it's...
See, I laugh. I mean, Core's even kind of saying it in our chat as well. Like, most people aren't godly at a game. They think, even if they think they are, there's only, you know, the top 1% is the top 1%. Yeah. There's only that small number. And even those people, I know for a fact, a lot of very good gameplay people don't necessarily have an audience on Twitch. And it's just because if they're just sitting there playing a game quietly in their seat, like,
they're so focused.
I don't really gain any entertainment value. There's very few. I mean, the one person that stands out to me besides maybe Ninja, but he has a personality, even if it's not for you, is Shroud. I'm not a big Shroud guy, so I haven't watched enough to give a true opinion. But even Shroud himself says he doesn't know why people watch him because he doesn't feel he has a personality. He blames it all on just being good at the game. And the first thing you hear if you mention Shroud is like, oh, that dude's nuts. Like, so he's probably one of the few. He might have some personality. I'm not saying he's no personality. I've never watched enough to give that, but he says himself he doesn't, and he clearly has a very big audience. Yeah. So there is the percentage that wants to see, or even like you said, tourneys. I mean, a tourney, somebody wants to see who wins. That's the whole point of watching a tourney. Yep. They either want to root for their favorite creator or friend, or just see who wins, or team, or whatever. But so there are people who watch for gameplay, but I do think Twitch today has become the TV of our generation. Basically, we watch it to be entertained. So
I like that you said that, because I actually compared it directly to TV at one point when I was chatting with someone, and I'm like, my kids, they never turn on the television to watch anything but YouTube or Twitch. That's all they watch.
Yeah,
me,
exactly.
I go to the guide. I go to the typical guide on AT&T TV now, and I'm like, oh, what is this network playing for me? Like, okay, I'll just pick another Rocky Marathon or whatever, another Office Marathon, which I've seen all the episodes a million times. Even though I have those items available to me on streaming platforms with no ads, I don't know. It's like old me is looking for that old TV guide way where you just let it play and you just watch whatever the network is shoving in your face. And my kids never.
I don't even have a cable box plugged in, so I am not agreeing with you here, Darth.
Well, I don't have a cable box either, streaming, but it's that old old mindset of, I'm going to turn something on and I don't really know what I want to watch. So I'm just going to go to this guide, pick the first thing that interests me at all, and that's going to be the channel that I watch.
Okay.
And it's
You watching anything good right now?
No, not well. Yes, yes, but I've seen it like 700 times. So I recently found out that Burn Notice, the show, is on Hulu. It's about a burnt spy, and I love that show. And it was on Netflix for a while, and I watched it like 4 times through the whole entire series. And then recently I found that it's on Hulu again, so I started watching that again, and absolutely love it. But yeah, Mike, you're right. It's the TV of the new generation. People go, do I want to watch on-demand content? I'll go to YouTube. Or do I want to watch live content? I'm going to go to Twitch.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of how I treat it. The YouTube wormhole that you fall into versus Twitch. On average, I'll switch in a night 3 times. I would say 3 times is even generous. I'll watch a streamer until they either end, and then I'm like, well, now I gotta find something new. That sucks. Or I'll watch it until I'm done. Whereas YouTube, I'm like,
Those are the only 2 options, I
well,
think.
yeah, right. But it's
Unless you lose power.
what I'm
or
trying to say
internet.
is like I don't typically start watching someone and then just at a random point be like, oh, I'm gonna switch to this other person. It's like
Right.
it's like I'll just turn it on and keep it on, and then I'm always doing something else too. It's never like I'm just sitting intently watching the gameplay. Every once in a while I'll look over and be caught up in a match or caught up in something super interesting that's happening. But like YouTube, I will click around all over the place in YouTube. I'll search one subject and then all of a sudden I never have to type on the keyboard again because I'm just click, next, click, next,
It's
click.
become our white noise, right? Like, older generations used to just, like you said, throw on a TV, throw it to their favorite television channel or whatever, and let it play all day.
just
And
let
it
it
didn't
go.
matter if they didn't watch it; they didn't care. They cleaned the house while it was on. They did some chores, whatever. Now I'll do the same thing. I'll throw on a Twitch channel and work, or get something done, try to be productive, and
Yep.
that's just like my background noise. I will click a different channel if like I'm kind of just. Sometimes I'll just click around just to see what's going on,
Sure.
try to find a new streamer, whatever. Or if like, I'm watching somebody who I follow, but they're not like one of my favorite content creators or whatever, and then somebody else goes live that I'm like, oh yeah,
That makes
I
sense.
never really like to miss this. But yeah, I mean, or occasionally I'll have a couple tabs just in case. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
That makes sense.
but yeah, it is our TV. It's got .tv, right? So it has to be. It's in the URL.
It's in the URL, so it must be what we have to watch,
yeah,
right?
it must be true.
It
Yeah.
must be true. So we just talked about kind of streaming with friends and not streaming with friends, etc. What do you think about camera streaming versus no camera streaming? This has actually
It's
been
definitely been a hot topic forever.
yeah. This has been kind of coming up a lot lately in a bunch of the Reddits and things like that because more people are streaming, more people are hitting that go live button on their PlayStation or something like that. So they're like, oh, do I need a camera to be successful? And a bunch of people kind of get together, and the general consensus is no. They say no but here's the thing, no with a caveat. They go, no, if your gameplay's amazing, you don't need a camera. And they go, but if your
I will go
gameplay's
a bit further.
oh, what? How much further? I want to hear this.
I don't think, as we've already stated, I don't think gameplay is the end all be all. Everybody thinks it is because I think there was a time where it was.
Probably.
There are so many people streaming now that there's probably somebody streaming better than you
Mhm.
at the game
Oh yeah.
every single time. Unless you are literally the number 1 player, which is 1 person per game.
Right.
So it's probably not going to be it. I think it can help. If you're winning tournaments and you have no camera, people will watch you. But other than that, I think you can still show personality through voice. It's not as easy. The best example I have is Lyric. I mean, that dude is one of the top 10 probably Twitch personalities
Okay.
for the past like 7 years.
Never watched him.
Dude never uses okay, he has no webcam, so maybe not for you, I don't know, but I can literally watch his stream and I will laugh.
Okay.
I don't laugh at a lot of people. I laugh at Lyric, and he has no webcam, so he knows how to. He puts on like this accent, like these little accents, and like he kind of gives everything a voice in the game.
Okay.
Like, I don't
It's
know.
like
He
bad
just
lip
yells
reading,
about
but-
everything that happens. Yeah, he like yells about everything going on, and like almost makes everything in the game feel like it's thing. Like it's a car, it's a car, and he's like yelling at the car or something. I
Okay.
don't know. It's just the way
I might have to watch this.
He's
This
got a
sounds
good
amusing.
personality. He's not like. It took me a little bit to get into him. Like it probably took me like half hour to an hour. It's like one of those things you have to like almost get to know the person to all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, this is funny.
Okay.
But he's a perfect example of like he lets his personality shine through his voice. That it's okay that I don't have a camera, and sometimes it's nice because he also diversifies himself very well. He is the definition of why can't I think of the word now? He doesn't play one game. He plays
variety streamer.
every game. Variety. Yeah, he's a variety streamer by definition. I almost never see him playing the same game twice in a week.
Okay.
He does sub Sundays where the subs vote on a game for him to play, so he ends up playing all these weird indie games.
Sure.
Like I said, I found random games just because he's playing them, and
I'm gonna have to check
all
this
of
out.
them he makes like entertaining. But he has no cam, so you get to see all these random games that you don't even know about full screen. So if you just want to, what the heck's this game? It's perfect because it's the one time you're not like focused on the streamer. You can actually pay attention to see what kind of game he's playing, see if it interests you.
Okay.
So he's one of my favorite to check out. If there's like a new game out that I don't know if I want, I will watch him because I don't have to pay attention to the face on the screen.
Okay. So him being a big streamer and kind of crafting his brand a little bit is understandable. I'm gonna have to watch him now.
Yeah.
You've basically made it so that tomorrow I'll probably watch him. But
yeah, that was an ad for Lyric,
was
by
an
the way.
ad.
No,
Hashtag ad.
I'm not paying for Lyric.
But what do you think
Just his
about
personality I enjoy.
for like smaller streamers, newer streamers? How important do you think that cam is? Like,
I think it's 99% of the time. I think it's gonna be important. I don't want to tell everyone they need it because I understand it's not as comfortable. Now people
You're
see you.
front and
If
center.
you don't feel like you look good that day. If you don't feel good about your appearance, you're just awkward on camera, whatever it may be. Like that's a reality. So I understand that. But I do think it makes it easier to have that connection with the person. Like when they cry or when they laugh or when they jump out of their seat, you get to like truly see those moments and feel the human through the screen.
there's a lot of emotion that is nonverbal, so watching the person
Exactly.
is interesting because even if they're not talking and something amazing happens in the game, you still get to see some kind of reaction. Whereas with no video, if they're not a talkative streamer, you're like, okay, I don't know if they reacted. I have
Yes.
no idea what's going on there.
That's the number one thing. If you're gonna use no cam, you better be able to talk. Like
Right.
you can't sit there silent with no cam because it's like you said, if I'm sitting there silent and doing something in the game and they can tell I'm like very focused and like they see they can see it in your eyes. You're like kind of like squinting, like staring at something. They see your mouse doing what it's doing. They know like, oh, he's focused. Give him a minute.
Yeah.
But like there's no cam there. They don't know what you're doing at all. For all they know, you left.
Right. You could
Like,
have just
left
walked
the-
away
left the
from
room.
and not put a BRB screen. Yeah.
So yeah, you have to be very good at keeping the chat of yourself going, and like I said, I just think you need to show your personality very well through voice. I do know a few like newer streamers who use no webcam that are doing well.
Yeah.
They've just made a name for themselves in the community of the game they play. That kind of worked for them. So I'm talking Destiny, obviously, but I know some Destiny guys. I know who they are because they're good at the game. Their clan is known or whatever it may be,
Okay.
and they use no webcam. And I'll still pop in. They still have 20, 30 viewers, whatever, and it seems to work fine for them just because they made a name for themselves. So there's always a way to make what you're doing work. I just think no cam is the hard route.
I agree with that, and I guess I stumbled upon this stream. I want to say it was about 2 weeks ago. Just browsing around randomly because one night no one was on that I follow, so I'm like, let's go find a random somewhere. And I stumbled upon this stream where it was a no cam stream, except for sometimes, like every once in a while, all of a sudden the cam would pop up and then fade back. It was almost like, how people do those zoom effects sometimes, where it'll zoom in on their
Yeah.
face and they do some kind of reaction and then it zooms back to their normal everyday wide angle. This person was doing it to where the camera would turn on, they would do their reaction, and then the camera would go away. And
Did you like it?
I hated it. I couldn't deal. I was like, either keep it on or turn it on. Like, is this supposed to be? It was weird to me because I'm like, is he doing that on purpose? So I watched for a while to just see if it was something that was designed, and it was, because like something would happen, then all of a sudden, bam, his face pops on, and then it fades away, and then you're back into only gameplay again. And I was like, this is too weird. I don't know.
I kind of like that. I've done it, and I know other people have done it for cutscenes.
Okay.
You know, like a cutscene comes up, and you want to make sure it's the first day of that cutscene, the game's brand new or whatever.
You don't want to block one of the important parts.
You want everyone to see everything, so you turn your face cam off, maybe even mute yourself until the video's over, and then you come back and talk about your feelings on it. I've seen that, and obviously to me that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that would make sense.
That like reaction, but.
That one makes a little bit more sense, but it was just like in generic gameplay. Just all of a sudden, randomly, something would happen, then bam, pops on the screen and then fades away. And I was like, what is going on?
That's definitely an interesting take. Hey, it's at least somewhat original, which is kind of at this point.
I mean,
what you have to do.
It's original enough for me to remember it weeks later, and at least I have a review, because there's gonna be people that love it. And there's gonna be people that hate it, because you can't have everyone love it, or I can't have everyone hate it. So, but it left an impact, and I'm like, I guess now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it, I'm kind of like, maybe it's genius. Maybe it's something that
anything that you talk about later is somewhat genius, even if you didn't like it, right? Because like you said, if somebody else does, as long as anybody likes it and people talk about it, then you've driven the people who like it to that channel. You've done that like discoverability thing.
Yeah. Man, discoverability on Twitch. We won't get into that one. Ugh.
No, we only have 25 more minutes or
right.
so, obviously not exactly, but that's a 3-hour podcast about discoverability.
Oh, man. Well, so
it's not short.
I actually go into the Twitch browsing. So like I found this streamer specifically by just clicking a random. But normally what I'll do is I'll flip it so it's least viewers first, and then I'll just scroll like a random amount of times. I'll just hit the scroll button or the scroll wheel and go. Actually, if I click the middle mouse button, I can drag below it and it'll just continue to scroll until I click it again. And I'll just scroll an arbitrary number of times and click on whatever catches my eye whenever I stop. I don't even have like, well, I gotta have a cam, I gotta have this. Just anything that catches my eye. So it can be overlays, it can be a unique camera setup.
Each time that happens, you should make a note in a Discord channel or whatever of what caught your eye and compile that, because if it caught your eye,
it's probably catching
somebody else's. Yeah. And you should probably be doing all of the things on this list that you compile.
That's probably a good idea. I like that idea. But
right?
It's an easy way to find someone that at least at the bare minimum caught your eye. Bare minimum, you know.
There you go.
I don't know. It's fun. So, tournaments. When you were a kid.
Yes.
When you were a kid.
Oh, okay.
Did you have to do the in-home tournaments, or did you get to do the online tournaments? I know
we're talking gaming.
We're talking gaming. Yep. Gaming tournaments. What I'm trying to get to is, what are your go-to snacks for tournaments? So, me growing up, gaming tournaments were kind of odd. Well, not odd if you're an old guy like me. Everyone had to be in the same house. There was no online game. So, Nintendo 64 tournament, and you're like, Dad, can I have 8 people sleep over tonight? And then you get your mountain of whatever snacks. What would your mountain be right now?
Today. Ooh, okay. So, let's say, tonight there's a new game dropping, and I need to stay up late and power through the night. I need a pile of snacks.
Yes,
right?
You need a pile of snacks and drinks. What are you going and getting?
If this is an exciting thing, right, then I'd probably just do water and Red Bull or something. If I know I need to sustain real energy, it's gonna be water and tea. Because, Red Bull, I'm going to eventually crash.
Well, yeah, right.
There's sugar and yada yada. Where tea, I can just drink black. I don't really crash from tea. It kind of just, I don't really feel it either, but I know it works.
Okay. It just kind of keeps you on that.
So that's
that even.
Yeah.
Okay. What about?
I love Guru, but I crash.
Okay. Food wise,
real fast.
Do you typically game with snacks? Would you have a bowl of chips?
I do.
Okay.
So go-to would probably be a box of cereal. a bag of popcorn, and then maybe like some chips or something.
Oof.
But, cereal and popcorn.
A small amount of cringe happened when I thought about the popcorn and the butter and just the whole situation. Do you eat it with chopsticks? Because a lot of people are like, oh, if you're gaming, just eat your snacks with chopsticks, and you then don't get all your finger grease and your Cheetos dust all over your peripherals.
I typically gaming eat like I eat like a smart food type popcorn, so it's not buttery. There's no oil.
So it's not like the typical stuff that, of course, the kids love is that like you open it and the bag is like kind of greasy and gross, and you're like, I'm gonna just shove this in my face. I don't know. It seems healthy.
I do eat that, but not gaming is like, that's why I said like I'll eat dry cereal.
Okay.
I'll like literally take the box like it's a cup
and just drink
pour the box into my mouth. Yep. Yeah, because I'll eat the whole box, and no one else has to worry about my mouth germs.
Yeah.
And then the popcorn would be like I said, like a cheddar-y. It's still, a little bit of crumbs probably in my keyboard, but it happens.
It does.
We're gamers. You get a vacuum or shake it out. I don't know. I've popped the keys off and cleaned them all out before.
Right.
Not this keyboard, but my past one.
Man,
sometimes I'm not proud of what I find.
I'm a Cheez-It guy. Like if I have Mountain Dew and Cheez-Its, I can power through a night easy on just those two things. It sounds like a weird.
Okay.
Yeah, but
how many boxes of Cheez-Its though? We talking like one box?
Oh no, I'm getting like 5 of the family-sized boxes, and I'm powering through it. Like I'm eating them like it's popcorn, a whole handful, as many of those little squares that can go in my mouth at a time. You
stab yourself in the top of the roof of the mouth with the corner of a Cheez-It.
Inevitably, the moment that you put them all in there, you're like, oh, the game's starting, and you can't even do comms with it or anything. You're just spitting all over the place. Yeah, that would be my go-to. You didn't tell us what kind of cereal. What kind of cereal?
Cocoa Puffs are up there, stuff like that.
I was thinking you were gonna say Lucky Charms. That's what my bet was.
Okay.
I was thinking that.
No Lucky Charms.
Not the Lucky Charms.
No marshmallows.
What's the Oops All Marshmallows? Just a bag full of hard dehydrated marshmallows. Ugh.
They didn't even have those when I was a kid, I don't think.
No, they didn't have those.
Just marshmallow bag? No.
Yeah, they didn't have those when I was a kid either. They did have the Oreos cereal though. Do you remember that?
Oreo O's or whatever?
Yeah, Oreo O's that like they only tasted like Oreos because you were convinced they tasted like Oreos, but if you like did the taste test side by side, you're like, these are just not even close. They barely taste like chocolate at all.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they taste like fake chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, so gross. No,
thank you.
My favorite cereal is still Frosted Mini Wheats. I don't know. I've always loved it.
Ooh.
I've always loved it.
You are an old guy. No. Raisin Bran, Special K.
My favorite is Grape Nuts.
Yeah, Grape Nuts. If I am going to stay up late, though, besides snacks, like my dinner is probably a big bowl of like spaghetti.
Really?
Like,
you carb load
big bowl
that?
of spaghetti.
Oh, man, I would be out.
I carb load before a raid. Like,
I would be
if I'm doing like a raid night or something, boom, big plate of spaghetti. And then if I'm tired in the middle of the night, I'll eat another plate of spaghetti.
Nice.
Like, just carb out.
Holy, yeah. Carbs make... a plate of spaghetti makes me just pass out. Like, I will be done.
Oh, see, it doesn't for me. I don't know why.
That's... Okay. Yeah, I'm normally like the trash. Like, I want Hot Pocket or something because I'm like, I'm going to eat so many Cheez-Its that I don't want to waste that space. I want to have my gaming fuel, which is just going to turn into Mountain Dew Cheez-It paste in my stomach. Ew, that sounds gross. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that.
Don't think about that.
Mountain Dew and Cheez-Its in a bowl. Like, there's Darth's snack.
That's my next YouTube video? No.
Cheez-It cereal.
Oh, ew, gross. Well, do you have anything else you wanna say to the crew out there?
Real quick, we did announce today as well. We have a video editor in-house potentially. We have our first conversation tonight with them, but a
call for
they're
clips.
Looking to make some videos. So if you're out there and you hear this, we would like clips. We want clips. Funny moments, epic moments. You clutch around, you make me laugh.
Raging moments, if you're not swearing up a
happens.
storm, we're fine with that if it's funny. Because sometimes a rage moment is funny, as long as you're not
if you smash
punching
the computer. I'm fine with it. Send us your clips. We do eventually kind of want to maybe build out a team of people that like we kind of showcase every week. If you're familiar with orgs, they kind of
content
have these teams.
Or content team, yeah.
The content team,
That's-
yeah. So, our team, the C2 team that represents who we are, that we promote, they promote us, kind of like this mutual growth thing. We kind of are talking about working towards that. So send us your clips and maybe you can become part of that. Be featured in videos every week or whatever it may be.
And also don't forget that we have people on the feedback team that are sitting waiting. So we need someone to say, hey, give me some feedback. If you're looking for some feedback, let us know. YouTube channels, streams, Mixer, Twitch. I guess you can stream on YouTube too, right? Yeah, you can.
You can, yeah.
Facebook
And next week,
streams.
We will have this on Spotify, whatever, after next week.
Yeah, so
that'll be episode 5.
we're going to release all 5 of the beginning episodes on as many podcast services as we can find one service that will just spit it all out there for us, basically. So
yeah, without making us bankrupt, for sure.
Right.
So,
So call for clips, call for feedback volunteers to be the very first one. That'll be a series on YouTube as well. And if nothing else, I got nothing else.
yeah, it's been a pretty quiet week. I did make real quick. I made 11 million, I think, off turnips this week. I know you're all interested.
I knew it was gonna come up. I tried to get out of here without Animal Crossing.
I bought 2 million worth of turnips and I made 11 million.
That's not a bad investment. Nice.
If only I could do that in real life. Anybody buying turnips?
It was Baggy that posted to Twitter. I think it was this morning.
She did, yeah.
Where she was like, "I wish my life was as together as my Animal Crossing life." Or I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I lolled on that one. I lolled.
It's true. In Animal Crossing, I got my life together.
you're living the high life with turnips in there, huh? Okay,
It's also real easy. You throw things in storage and they're gone.
They're gone. When are you streaming next, man?
Friday, I think.
Friday night at twitch.tv/baggy
me and you.
noodle arms. Yes, I think that will work for me, actually.
If the beta's still going.
Yeah. Do we know when that's shutting down? I don't think we do.
I've heard rumors that it's until the real game comes out, but I've also heard
fine.
rumors that it could just be any day. So who knows?
Okay. Well, if it's still on live or online, we should be able to work that out. My next day streaming is tomorrow night, starting at 6:30. For you, it's twitch.tv/baggy noodle arms. For me, it's twitch.tv/therealdarthguy. But with that said, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We'll
go ahead.
Have a good one. Everybody in the actual chat on Twitch, hang on a minute. We'll do a raid, and then we'll be out of here.
Yep.
Everybody audio, have a good day.
Good night.